Welcome, everyone. We're here at Silicon Valley Health Institute in Palo Alto. Silicon Valley Health Institute is a nonprofit organization, and we are meeting here tonight, October 16th, 2014, at the Cubberley Center. And tonight we have two illustrious speakers, Dr. Dana Ullman, who I'll introduce in more detail later, and Dr. Amutma Shah, a naturopath, who I'll also introduce in more detail later. But for about the next about the next 19 minutes, we are going to be just opening up Smart Life Forum as a forum for discussion on various health issues of interest. And as all of us know, there are many interesting health issues that are health-related issues that are going on right now. And I just want to open up for thoughts about some research articles that I was just looking over. Obviously, there's a great interest right now in viruses of various types. And as a result of, I'm going to not state anything that is not scientifically validated, because there are a lot of theories and thoughts and opinions going around. So, and also I don't want the FDA or the CDC coming down on me. So I'm not going to state anything that is not scientifically founded. So
I don't care.
So as a practicing clinician, I mean, yeah, it is almost to the point where we have to watch out for censorship. But anyway, I just don't want the CDC and the FDA coming at me, since this is going to be on YouTube and all over the place. But anyway, we can discuss things as a friendly discussion, realizing I'm a practitioner, so especially I have to be watch my words. Anyway, so regarding some interesting articles that I came across regarding viruses, there's one article in PLOS1, which is a free access journal article repository. And it's dated November 27, 2013 in the journal. Anyway, the whole point of this article is that viral replication can be significantly influenced by various medicinal plants and other botanicals. They call it novel anti-influenza activity for this. And also another article I came across was the effects of L-cysteine and L-theanine supplementation on the common cold, a randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled trial. And in effect, the results said that these things were quite effective for prevention of cold and flu symptoms, as well as development thereof. Another article which I came across was Silver Nanoparticles, Synthesis, Properties, Toxicology, Applications, and Perspectives. This was done by researchers at Hanoi University of Science and Technology, dated December 2012, and essentially they found that silver nanoparticles had a significant benefit for prevention and resolving viral replication. Another article I came across looking at things from a functional medicine viewpoint, a more holistic viewpoint, that it's not just what you put in you, but it's what you're doing or what you're not doing. It's very important. This article's titled Membership and Behavior of Ultra-Low Diversity Pathogen Communities Present in the Gut of Humans During Prolonged Critical Illness. And essentially what they said was that people in hospital settings, their gut microflora are wiped out. And it's essential to replenish the gut microflora for optimal immune response. So just with a few little tidbits there for your titillation, I want to open up the forum for comments, discussion, questions, etc.
I would like to hear the ideas about the coffee enemas. Does anybody have experience with that, and what's the pro and cons?
Okay, boy, I can really talk about this because not only have I done them a lot, but my wife, she had at this point breast cancer. And so we used, coffee enemas was one of the things that we used, which was critical. Coffee enemas drastically assist with detoxification processes within the body. The portal vein, hepatic portal vein, basically when you retain a coffee enema for about 15 minutes, you're getting circulation through the hepatic portal vein where the contact with the enema, the coffee enema, in fact, is basically you're getting about, I think about three circulations of where the whole blood basically is being detoxified within while you're holding that coffee enema for about 15 minutes. When I did it so that was one of the things that was critical in my wife resolving the breast cancer, and this was not it. Maybe it was breast cancer. It was mainstream diagnosis as far as I mean it definitely was. So it wasn't one of those things. Well, maybe it wasn't breast cancer, but anyway, we did not do any cut, burn, or poison therapy. She's apparently, with all lab results and diagnostic imaging, doing very good now. We used a special enema, coffee made specifically for coffee enemas. It was a little bit more concentrated than like a Folgers coffee, but I don't recall the specific concentration. It was like a brownish type coffee, yeah. So, actually, I'm sorry. So,
And what's the frequency? How often without a diagnosis, how often should you use it?
okay, well, for her, because she had breast cancer, she was sometimes doing 3 times a day. But myself, my experience with coffee enemas, whenever I do them, I feel like I'm 18 years old again. I mean, yeah, right. I feel just, yeah. So I like to do them. At least once a week. I feel just so great when I do. So, any other comments for you? Or yes.
And after you do the coffee enemas, because I had breast cancer and I did them as well as vitamin C drips and Bs, is some kind of implant to re-flourish your colon. Do you know what you would do as an implant after you've done so many coffee enemas to replenish?
Well, what we did, and looking through the literature on this, again, the probiotics were critical. So that's critical. And also, I've been looking through additional information regarding histamine producing probiotics and non-histamine producing probiotics, and that is extremely important because you want to make sure that you don't have a hyperhistamine response in many cases. And in fact, that issue with the histamine, high histamine or histamine sensitivity, so to speak. A lot of people, I'm in practice, and I've been using low histamine diets and seen some remarkable results. But the direct answer to your question is replenish with probiotics. Now, there are different protocols. Gerson therapy, for instance, as you know very well, Gerson therapy, they don't specifically mention probiotics very strongly in that, which I find interesting that they don't, because the probiotic replenishment of the microflora is so important. In fact, I'm teaching at the pharmacy conference in about 2 weeks, and that's one of the things that I'm going to be discussing about is the importance of probiotics and the necessity for keeping good microbiome. Yes.
I went to the Gerson clinic in Mexico, and they not only do coffee enema, but juices, vegetable juices, 13 cups a day, plus the other nutrition. I think that's where the probiotic take place, and also some of the, I can't remember what it was. I went for my friends, but they supplement with many other supplement. Wheatgrass. She didn't go too much for wheatgrass, but lots of carrot juice and a green juice. And he's the one that invented that coffee enema, didn't he? Max Gerson originated from him. I don't know. Yeah, he did it like 50 years ago. I have his book.
Yeah, the Gerson therapy was the basis of what we were doing nutritionally, by the way. So yeah, I have practical, all that juicing. Yeah, I know. We did that. Yes.
I'm not a medical practitioner, and I don't have a license at stake. So I'd be glad to give you my take on viruses. I have a book that's online at projectwellbeing.com on the Steve page that you can download that goes into all of this in 50 pages of detail. But let me give you the quick summary. Viruses attenuate under the influence of certain nutrients and become more virulent under the influence of other kinds of nutrients. If your metabolism is anaerobic, viruses flourish, and if your metabolism is aerobic, viruses attenuate. And that points towards the value of oxygen, sulfur, like glutathione, cysteine, which one of the papers you mentioned pointed that out, and just as importantly, selenium. Selenium has shown a massive correlation with viral virulence throughout the entire world, where there's a couple of regions in Africa that are selenium deficient, and there's a region in China, heavily populated region in China with both animals and humans, where most of the Asian viruses come out of that region. And so the selenium deficiency breeds viral virulence. When those viruses come to the United States and they hit a population that is more selenium replete, the viruses rapidly attenuate and switch from being lethal into being sublethal in a matter of weeks to months. So this is not something that the NIH or CDC is looking at. When I did some recent examination of some of the desperate measures that are being considered by the Ebola breaking out of Africa, breaking out of the rural areas of Africa, there's all kinds of things that are on their hot list of things they want to push, and selenium is not there, vitamin D is not there, vitamin C is not there. We've had Dr. Levy talk about the use of intravenous vitamin C in shutting down viral diseases, going back to the work of Klenner 50 years ago. This is all very valuable. There are basically two things that I would emphasize in terms of dealing with the prospect of Ebola. One having to do with viral attenuation, which is a rather slow process. And so creating resistance to viruses in your body by, for example, taking selenium and being aerobic, taking magnesium and vitamin D3, vitamin A, things like that, that's all well and good. But Ebola is such an acute virus and is capable of dropping your vitamin C levels to scorbutic levels, scurvy levels, in a matter of hours, that it's very important to deal with it on an acute basis, and that's basically vitamin C. Intravenous vitamin C, which Levy talked about, is a great way to do it, but that requires a certain level of access to medical infrastructure. You have to have a doctor who will do that, or you have to learn how to do an IV on your own. That's kind of daunting. A technology that is over the counter that you can use is liposomal vitamin C, which you can buy online, and this gives you a way of getting vitamin C deep into your body, and it might be enough to attenuate Ebola to the point that you can survive long enough for the virus to attenuate. Basically those are the two protocols that I would invest in if I was looking at the prospect of having Ebola being in the United States. Vitamin C, IV bags, and take nutrients that'll attenuate the virus.
One of the things that Steve mentioned is vitamin D, and there's been a lot of research on vitamin D and the effect on viruses. And there's another study that I just pulled up titled Randomized Trial of Vitamin D Supplementation to Prevent Seasonal Influenza A in School Children. And the study concludes, quote, "This study suggests that vitamin D3 supplementation during the winter may reduce the incidence of influenza A, especially in specific subgroups of school children." And this was reported in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition 2010. And there are a plethora of studies regarding vitamin D's effects in attenuating viruses. So if anything, if you just are making sure you're maintaining your blood vitamin D levels at the recommended 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter in your blood, that's one of the things, because some of the other studies that I came across regarding viruses, and as a practitioner, I have to be careful what I say, but basically, with any virus, I'll just say that, with any virus, you want to, before you have any exposure, to make sure that you have good immune system resources in your body where you are having a good immune response, a balanced immune responses particularly. And making sure that you're doing things. It all comes down to what you do. It's not just taking a lot of supplements at nutraceutical doses, I must mention, but it's your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise habits, your stress management, all of that. That will influence how your body is able to fight off any type of virus or not.
Thank you for all that information. It's great. I'm a certified naturopath. I don't have a license to lose, but I'll say whatever I know because that's what I'm on this planet for. I find that right now we're going into Halloween season. I've called it Halloween season for years because as soon as we have Halloween, these epidemics hit, whether it's Ebola, whatever it is. There's another virus loose right now on the East Coast and the Midwest, and
Do you mean enterovirus D68? No, just so you know, it's not back east. It's here. I have a patient whose cousin contracted. They're in San Mateo. It's here.
I'm not keeping up. Okay, so it's really important not to eat sugar. I mean, it's so simple. Everybody loves sugar, right? I love sugar, but I just gave up sugar 2 weeks ago because I was talking to clients of mine and telling them not to eat sugar, reading all this research on viruses, and going, I'm eating sugar. What am I doing? You know. So Halloween's always the date. the day after, when these kids eat a whole bag of GMO sugar each, and then they go to school the next day, and boom, it just explodes. And then, of course, the school teachers and everybody else gets it. So I'd say, so anyway, I also met a man from Sierra Leone recently. He's a guard at one of the Wells Fargo Bank parking lots. And I asked him, something intuitively told me to ask him where he was from, and he said Sierra Leone. And so I asked him about the virus in his country, because he has lots of relatives there. And he said that it's only in the outer areas where there have been wars. And he actually this man was very well educated. He just couldn't get a job in this country. And he said that these are the two factors, hydration and nutrition. So these people are dehydrated because they have water shortages, and they're malnourished because they're in a war zone. And they've been living under these conditions. He said in the city where he's from, the capital, he said the disease is not there. You know, the people are well fed and well hydrated. So we all just remember the hydration, and eating sea salt, you know, helps people be hydrated.
Very, very good points. And I'm going to allow just a few more minutes for questions, comments. This is a obviously timely topic. So just as you're thinking about your questions, so I'm going to take 2 more questions because we do want to stay on time. But one thing I do want to mention is that at the front, if you have not signed in at the front as you came in, please do so, because we want to keep track of who's current and who's not. As a nonprofit organization, it is necessary that we keep up with our dues. And what a deal. For a whole year, $60. So that's $5 a meeting. If you're at the door, it's $10 as you walk in. So what a deal. And also at the front, they wanted me to mention that there's a feedback form that we would value your opinion regarding any feedback of what we can do better, what we aren't doing so good, et cetera, et cetera. Please, if you are so inclined, do take one of these that you can get from the front and fill it out. And so to stay on time, I want to take 2 more questions, comments.
Hi, I'm Gabby, also certified naturopath. My question is about vitamin D levels in the blood. I have quite some clients, they take like 10,000 vitamin D throughout the year, units, 10,000 IUs. And sometimes their blood levels go over 100 nanograms per milliliter, and their doctors freak out and stop immediately. So do you know, and they have, you know, they're 103, 112, they feel fine. How high do you feel comfortable? What kind of practitioner are you actually?
Yeah, I'm a chiropractor, certified clinical nutritionist, and also trained in functional medicine. I've been practicing for 25 years, and I have that situation also where I have some people that they go up to, you know, 100, 105, 110, and they're feeling great. Now, again, according to, I can't remember the researcher right off hand, but what is his name? Anyway, there's a table from the functional medicine doctor whose name I can't remember right now. But anyway, the 60 to 80 nanogram optimal per milliliter is what the predominance of the research says is optimal levels. But I have people, I've also seen people have gone up to 100. Hey, I'm feeling great. But again, I'm going to defer to what all the research points to. So if I do have someone going up to that, I say, okay, we're at a good level now. Let's back off a little bit and recheck and make sure you're staying in this optimal range according to what the research shows. That's my take on that. So, final question.
mentioned that in one of the first studies there was something about herbs that were helping. Can you say which ones were in that study?
In this study, they were looking at a cross section of herbals, and these were traditional medical plant extracts. There were there were quite a few. I have the article right here, which you can look over because it's quite a few. So, okay. So with that, we are going to take a 10-minute. You want? No break. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.